welcome to the Swole Initiative Network. You are watching the Fables of Gahlia, the correct way to start your weekend. Before we jump into tonight's game, I want to say, hey, thank you for the friggin' gifted subs before we even went live. Stronghold D&D, thank you so much. Oh, it's Sir Timothy in the Discord. That's who it is.
Hi.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, that's awesome. And that definitely helps for things that we'll talk about later. But first, we have other announcements to talk about some of the amazing companies that we work with. So, Paul, why don't you kick us off?
Straight from the halls of Valhalla comes our first sponsor, Norse Foundry Artisan Dice and Gaming Accessories. Crafted from the finest metals and gemstones by the Dvergar themselves. With Norse Foundry, even your natural ones will be beautiful. Check them out at norsefoundry.com and use the code SWOLE to save 10%.
Awesome. I don't have my list. Who's
It's
next?
me.
There you go.
Me. So you can also check out our friends over at Nine Realms Gaming. They hand make all of their products from natural woods to make quality and affordable gaming accessories for all, including dice towers and trays and vaults for your dice. Let's roll it. This is Big Boy from North Foundry.
I didn't roll. It's all you.
Oh, I can't read it. It's dark. It's a 10. That's all right. Middle of the road. We don't know what that means.
With a modifier, you do all right.
I mean, if it was perception, it'd be 18. But anyways, you can get 10% off of your purchase at ninerealmsgaming.com with the code SWOLE10. And don't forget to take a look at Jay's beautiful DM screen with his face on it. Yeah, that's right. They do custom work too. So if you want a DM screen with Jay's face on it or your own face, whatever, you can also use the code to get SWOLE10, 10% off of your purchase.
Yes.
Of your face.
They do have my face on file. So no, that sounds like I'm on some kind of record. Forget that. Never mind. Who is next? Save me.
That would be me. And let's see if I can get it right this weekend. This week. So our next, we'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to our next sponsor of the evening, Griffin Co. Everything that you see that is 3D printed on our shows is from Griffin Co. If you'd like to get in on this action and get a big slice of this pie, you can go to griffinco.com and use the promo code SWOLE22 and you will get 22% off of your order. That's a huge discount, guys. And they have tons of stuff. They have tons of stuff.
I believe that leaves our returning sorcerer, Ashley.
That's me. Oh, I've missed this one. Roll for initiative, nerds, before jumping into the mosh pit with Dice and Devil Horns. Visit diceindevilhorns.com for heavy metal tabletop gaming merch, mugs, and more. Use code SWOLE. I'm waiting for everyone. Oh yeah, there it is. At checkout for 10% off your order, and be sure to follow on Instagram for those sweet memes. That's dice, the letter in, devilhorns.com. Interact before you roll.
There we go. There it is.
Feels so good to be back.
Awesome. Other mini announcements that we have. I mean, there's lots of things going on because of the amazing support that we had from last month. We are getting things in motion. We have overlays being created. We have new theme songs being curated. We have lots of things coming. So thank you so freaking much for all of the support that we had last month. It was insane. And we felt so overwhelmed with that just in case you missed last week because it was a holiday, we are giving a good portion of it to be announced once we see like the payment come through to the Trevor Project, to in the pride spirit of things for last month. So thank you so much. You overwhelmed us with so much support that we were able to get stuff done that we needed to do for the new shows, and then also gift on a huge portion of it as well. So thank you so much. You are amazing. Other than that, we have things in the chat that you guys can do. Subscribers, you get to roll along with the players or the DM with exclamation point roll in the chat, and it will roll a d20 so you can see what you get too. I guess you can make up your modifiers plus a million to everything, I guess. Other than that, we have what else? Oh, flex points. Woo, flex points. You can spend 1,000 channel points on any of our characters tonight. You get one vote per character per stream. And then once they've amassed 10 votes all up, they will achieve a flex point with a flexi arm next to their character profile, in which means that they get to kind of flex and bend the rules of the game almost with DM discretion to create some really epic narrative moments. So you guys can influence the game in that way as well. I know a lot of you kind of band together and see who needs to get the points and then kind of push all the points that way. So just be aware that there may be chats going on about that. Other things, the giveaways for this month. Yes, which leads me on from the gifted subs earlier. So all of the subs that we get, all of the cheers and bits and everything like that, all gets funneled back into the channel to create more epic stuff that we have in the pipeline, such as our talk show, our mini painting show, our Spelljammer monthly game that's going to come out when the setting comes out, and then I have to like blitz read the whole thing. But that's going to be epic. And so we have new giveaways. So I can't read where the sub goal thing is on the screen, but once we achieve 20 total subs for this month, and I will let Diane read where we're at 15, so we only need
No, the goal is 15.
Oh, 15. Oh, it was
15 is
15.
the goal,
We
and we're
talked
at
about
12.
20. We dropped it to 15. Look at you. So we're five subs. Still right. Yes. 5 subs away from unlocking the first giveaway, which will be a plushie D20 from Norse Foundry. Look at it. It's so soft, guys, and squishy.
And it's fun to put your kids.
A 9. There you go.
It's fun to throw at your kids too.
Yeah, let's not promote throwing things at kids.
I mean, if they're fighting, it's just like you hit them, break them up,
They're Texan kids, they're fine.
That's right.
Oh, there we go. There's another sub. Thank you so much, Celtic Boar. So all regular subs count towards those goals. Gifted subs and prime subs. Remember, if you are feeling so generous as to be using your 1 prime subscription per month on our channel, then you do need to resub every month. It goes away, so you have to like drag Bezos's wallet back open again every month, and it does let you know when that happens, so don't worry. But more importantly, less about money. If you are here watching the stories and you stick around and you enjoy the content, that is the most important thing. That is why we love you guys being here. That's why we do this, I guess, so that people can enjoy this stuff. Anything else? Diane, have I missed anything? Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Happy.
There are bike shorts. Oh my god.
And sports bras and leggings. It's all the sporty stuff.
Dice is a thing. Dice is a thing, but
we can get lost some of those biker shorts to wear under his armor or under his loincloth.
That's something I would donate to.
Oh, well, I guess my voice was muted on the stream. So there's a merch store, guys. Click on the link. And that's all I got for you.
Oh no.
Not gonna.
Oh my god. I love that I was like sports bras and leggings.
Yeah, there's a merch store. There's a link right there. You can
There's a
click it,
merch
and then you will
store.
see the stuff that we have on sale. And what I almost said Lily, Diane said was that subscribers also have their own channel in our Discord, and we do ask you guys what you want to see. So you guys do have some input and things, because obviously you, the guys that are supporting us, so we want to deliver stuff that you want, I guess. That makes sense, right? So yeah, another perk for being a subby wubby. That felt dirty.
I was gonna say, can we think of a different name for that?
Yeah, no, we can
that's-
edit this out in post, right?
There's a lot being thrown at the wall, and I really hope none of it sticks.
No.
Yes, so we also have a YouTube where all of our past episodes go to live on in the ether, where you can catch up with all of them. Diane has been awesome and has re-uploaded all of the past episodes of Legends of Shao and Fables of Gahlia, so they are there. So if you are new, you can catch up on the millions of hours sitting there ready to be watched. You can watch it at triple speed and have us with squeaky voices.
I think you can only go up to double.
Okay, well, you could download it and then put it into a player and play it at triple speed.
That's a lot.
There you go. Anyway, I feel like we're losing track, guys.
No.
We never do that.
Nothing like us. All right, let's jump into tonight's episode of The Fables of Gahlia.
Ooh.
And welcome back. So, last time, as you guys had left the catacombs and gone to take rest, you had individual and yet somehow joint visions in sleep. Others rested fully. Rhapsody feeling pretty banged up from the large fight with Magnus, decided to sleep in and lick his wounds. and Adeline was still recovering from her full night of study. Meeting up with the High Priestess, you found out her true intentions was to leave your intentions to be completely true as well, and that was the reason that she didn't tell you about the reliquary underneath of Lagatha, but she did gift on the shield of Lagatha to Rose, as it had chosen its new user. After that, being supplied with 100 platinum? Is that what I said? I think so. 100 platinum, so 1,000 gold, which they thought was just pocket change that they could scramble together for you. You were equipped and headed out to the middle circles of Vargaden, going shopping for new dresses, going shopping for new scarves tied off in a bow on Lost, and also trying to buy some more expensive armor, and finding out just how expensive armor is. Decided to carry on back to Oleg's for a certain job that Kaya had for him. But before we jump in there, we're going to time step back to Mordecai's library and an evening full of avid research with Adeline. So we had done some rolling off of stream for information that you wanted to garner from your full night. So I was pretty liberal with the amount of stuff that you were able to delve into in depth. The first thing that you had chosen to research was from your vision that you had, your dream, the celestial eclipse, and the significance of being called the Chosen. And you rolled a total of a 16. So with a 16, you find a lot of religious texts in Mordecai's library, which makes sense, right? And so you find a lot of references to chosen ones and celestial auras and lights. You don't find anything about an eclipse anywhere, but there are, like I said, a lot of references to being a chosen one, a chosen champion. And so you start finding lots of references to the previous high priestesses and chieftains, which is Magnus's role as her husband. Lots of references to those, like chosen ones, chosen beings, like chosen for a path that was higher than they thought. And so it was kind of destiny or fate, to put a keyword for this campaign in, was at hand in their lives, and they'd been chosen for a higher path. So that's what I'll give you for that.
Interesting.
The second thing, you wanted to research how in a vision or a dream you could be left with the coiled mark on your forearm, the physical mark that was left from something that didn't innately seem real. You rolled a total of a 17. So with a 17, what you discover is that when it comes to, and again, you're finding lots of references and records in regard to like celestial intervention and things, and visions and messages sent from gods and deities. And there's lots of references obviously to Fenris and different visions that were given to the high-ranking matrons of Vargaden, none of which you have met other than the high priestess. And so these chosen were given these visions, but nothing physical had actually come of it, other than there's some records of an overall like sense of righteousness, or that they're being driven, but there's nothing physical on their bodies changed, which is alarming. Which, hey, just give me a straight intelligence check.
Ooh, okay. Straight intelligence. 14.
Okay. With a 14, being the bookworm that you are, the DC wasn't terribly high for you to kind of put 2 and 2 together and realize that if this was a true vision, you must have physically been touched by something at the same time.
I have literal goosebumps on my body. Okay. Cool.
There it is. Okay. And the third thing that you wanted to research was any kind of tentacled beings, like researching into those, and wanting to find something that would align itself with being the source, as it called itself, the source of your power. And you rolled a 22. With a 22, there are particular tomes in there, and this one is the one that takes you the longest, and this is the one you pass out reading, because you have to research it so long to find the right information in this particular library. But you start again looking through, and there's lots of references to celestial and fiends and demons and things, and so you do see like some aspects of tentacles within like demon lords and demon princes, and so you're going through these things, but nothing is really connecting with the experience that you had in that vision. And so way in through the night into the next morning, until I would say probably around 4 or 5 a.m., you managed to find one particular tome that delves into extraplanar events. Times where planes touch, they meet, they are thin, the walls between them become frayed, and though the notes are bare, and this was the hardest DC for you to get to, though the notes are bare, you can't help but feel from the vision of the space around you, this seems a lot like the astral plane. And that is as you pass out, reading into the astral plane. There is one more thing that you read. And it's a fairly recent entry. And it is signed off by Mordecai himself.
Huh?
There has been recorded a lot of interplanar events. Within the past 20 years that he has amassed. So like he's in his like late 20s, and so he's had to amass these other records and kind of pulling them from different places, being the archivist that he is, collates all of these events and realizes that there's this pattern where more and more other planes are meeting the material, and so beings are coming through and going forth at an accelerating rate.
What?
Give me a... Yeah, I'll just do a straight intelligence check on that one as well.
Oh, come on, Norse Foundry dies. I rolled a 1.
A 1.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's so sad.
Oh.
I'm so tired.
You know, it's so early in the morning, and you've been up so long. These things aren't quite making sense, and as you try and put the pieces together, your vision fades and fades, and your eyelids get heavy, and that's where you fall asleep on the desk.
Okay. Yeah, she's full on drooling on this book, like face down.
And with that, we will jump to the rest of the party.
I'm already a full page of notes in, and it's been 2 minutes.
You're welcome.
I love this shit.
You guys are in the second circle outside of the wolf's den, for everyone at home. You had just left the frontline armory and Loki. I believe Lost and Kaya were planning on going to see Oleg. Sisters, what would you guys be doing? Are you guys going with them? Are you going back or going somewhere else?
Well, I think we just had a conversation about us both realizing that Lost was feeling lonely, so maybe I think we would stay with him.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we'll go with.
Okay. So you guys make your way to the second gate, leading into the first circle, the outer circle. Is there anything you guys want to talk about on the way there, or anything before I just kind of narratively skip over?
I'm glad you guys decided to come with us.
Well, yeah. It seems like a good idea to keep us together when we're out.
Well, it's nice having you ladies around,
Thank you.
especially when I don't think anything's going to happen to us, on our little, shopping jaunt, but you never can tell. It's nice that we're all together.
Yeah. It's okay to tell me that you feel more safe when I'm around.
I feel more safe when you're around.
Okay. It's okay.
Besides, you have all the money.
I do. That's right, because I carry the bag.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
What are you What are your plans? Are they
Well,
secret?
No. I wanted to go see Oleg at the Blackened Iron. I think it's called the Blackened Iron. He made the discs, the fake
Yeah.
ones that we
Yeah.
used, or that y'all used. I didn't use one, but I wanted him to do something for me, and I really enjoyed talking to him when we talked to him last time. He was so wise, and it's just nice. He reminds me of some of the folks back home where I'm from, and it's just nice to be around someone like that.
All right.
Plus, I just wanted to go ahead.
What are you gonna have him make?
Well, you know those 2 platinums you gave me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him make something out of that for me.
Out of it?
Yep.
So you're not just paying him with it?
Well, that's why I'm glad you're going. I might need you to help pay for it.
Oh. All right. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So, making your way to the second gate. What was that?
Nothing.
Nope. Okay. Making your way to the second gate. Oh. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Getting to the second gate. You see the guards in either side of the large gate in the watchtowers sort of hang their heads out as you approach the gate, and your symbols that you wear around your neck, the woven symbols, they glint in the sunlight, recognizing that these are true symbols. You see them shift over and start waving, and the gates start to open. And let's say, Rose, you're pretty insightful. Give me an insight check.
Sure.
Or a religion check.
I think they're the same for me.
Okay.
No, it's an insight.
Okay.
It's going to be 18.
18. Yeah, with an 18, you start to realize that the symbols that you had before were the fake symbols. Everyone knew them to be fake. And therefore, the reason that you were let through is literally through the intentions that you stated and bearing yourselves in front of them, your true selves, your true intentions. And you realize that the gates are all just a test. As they close behind you, you're on the other side. You now look out and see the slightly more rundown little what's the word? Not dirty, but sort of raggedy outer circle. Are you guys heading straight to Oleg's at the Black and Iron?
Yes, that's my plan.
Sweet. Okay. So coming to the large open smith sort of setup that Oleg has, you can hear the metal singing from a distance. It sounds different to when you were at Loki's. Loki, his hammering was still very rhythmic and still very precise, but there was almost like a militaristic fashion to it. When you hear Oleg hammering, on the metal, it's almost like there's a little choral song note to each strike, and it's not super rigid and rhythmic in like very steady patterns. There's almost like a melody and a song to it. As you approach and you see the large sort of muscled thick back of Oleg in his dwarven stance, with his leather apron on, shirtless as always, with his smithing gloves on, and you see his one hand starts to come down and he stops and turns and says, "Oh, hello there."
Hi, Mr. Oleg. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. What could I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to come back and see you and say hello. It was really nice. I enjoyed talking to you last time we were here. But I also wanted to see if you might make something for me. I don't know if it's something in your normal purview or something that you would normally make, but and I pull out my two platinum pieces. But I was wondering if you could take these two and fashion them into a medallion, maybe about the size of the palm of my claw here, so it's maybe about 4 to maybe 5 or 6 centimeters or across or so, and I'd like it to be like a medallion with Bahamut, like the profile or the like a relief of Bahamut, the platinum dragon on the front.
See, this is very detailed.
Yeah, I know you're not probably normally a jewelry maker, but if you could pull that off, I would appreciate it. It would mean a lot coming, that it came from your hands. I know that,
Would you have something for me to base this off?
Yeah, and so I pull out the little thing that I got that was my mother's, and I show it to him.
And he kind of toys with it in his gigantic friggin' smith dwarven fingers, and he looks at you and says, "Was this important to you?"
Yes, it was my mom's.
Is she still with us?
It depends on who you ask, but I believe she is. I haven't seen her since I was a really small child. She was taken.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. Could you leave this with me in order to better make your medallion?
If it was anybody else but you, I'd say no, but I trust you. I don't know why. I just feel like a kinship with you. Maybe I don't deserve to call you that, but I that's how I feel.
I'm honored that you would say that.
If you could make like a on one, like on the top of it, like a ring, so that I can run like a necklace or something through it, because I'd like to hang it around my neck.
I should be able to do that. Platinum is a very hardy substance. It's something that I am more comfortable working with. I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you very much. And just so I'll know, can you give me some idea how much this might cost me?
And he kind of looks at the medallion in his hand and kind of weighs up with the platinum.
You're supplying the platinum.
Yes, sir.
I think the supply will be enough.
Are you sure? I mean,
You cover the materials. I'll cover the rest.
thank you so much, sir.
I mean, it may turn out terrible, so
It won't matter to me. You know, it matters that I feel truly honored. Thank you.
yes. Give me a few hours.
Oh, okay. Right.
Everything's already running, so I don't need to start anything up special.
Well, I truly appreciate that. If you have another deadline you need to get to first, that's fine. We're not, I can come back, tomorrow or tonight. It doesn't matter to me.
Later tonight would be fine if you make your way back to me before sundown.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
All right.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in a little bit. Lost, I know that you were looking at armor in the other place. Maybe you might have something you might could. I don't know. Prices might be about the same.
Lost just leans over to Kaya and he says, Kaya, all that you just did, can you do the same for a suit of full plate?
Mr. Oleg, Lost was wondering what kind of deal you could give him on a set of full plate. I don't think we can afford it, but maybe in the future. No. But in the future, maybe when we can afford it, what kind of deal he could get on maybe, or I don't know, breastplate or full plate, or I think he's really looking forward to some full plate at some time down the road when we can afford it.
What is it you were looking for exactly? Lost.
Well, I'd like a suit of armor that would be worthy of my abilities and my strengths. This scale mail has run its course. And in the last battle, I feel like it was holding me back somewhat. Plus, I have heard that tales are being written of me, and I would much prefer for the tales to describe me in resplendent armor rather than these workmen's scale mails.
I see. You need something lighter. Is that what you're looking for? Strong but light?
Strong but light, yes.
And he looks at you and says,
How did you fare getting through the gate?
Well, as you can see, we made it through. And I show him Well, I'm still wearing the old one and the new one. I show him the new shiny.
Well, the old one, the enchantment has faded, and so it's just a
It's just
just like this disc of battered metal.
Got it. Yes. They took one look, said, "This is a man of substance," and allowed me in.
You're a hard one to read, but I know there's more to it. For you, I could craft a breastplate with perhaps a little bit more song to it. Something that's light but hardier. How does that sound?
I appreciate the offer. Let me think on that. Let me think on that. Let me think.
All right. I mean, you won't get light, full plate from me.
I might go for the heavier armor. We will see. We will see. We will see what the future holds.
All right. The offer is there. Should you want to divulge a little more?
Very well. Yes. Thank you.
Was there anything I could do for the two of you ladies?
Mr. Oleg, what do you know about Lagatha?
Lagatha. That she was the first chosen of Fenris. The one to defend Ulfgate and establish Vargaden. I know that she was gifted weapons imbued by Fenris. Sword and shield so that she could lead the way.
And I have the shield on my back, so I'll turn and I'll say, "You mean this shield?"
Are you suggesting that this is the shield of Lagatha?
It's no suggestion.
And he sits down on a stool to the side of him and says, "Oh,
Wow. Where did you made it all the way inside? I've never even seen this before.
It was gifted to me.
By the right people, I hope.
By the priestess. And really, by Lagatha herself.
Really?
Right, Lily?
It's true. I saw her. Lagatha. She was quite happy about it.
Well, if the priestess sees it fit, there's obviously something that she sees in your character where she sees fit to pass on one of the oldest relics of Vargaden.
I used it to break the curse. Oh, never mind.
I don't need to know.
I forgot. Not everyone knows everything. But I felt like you know everything, so it just was easy to say.
I know a lot, and I'm here to assist in this region. Not a lot of people know that I am passing on wisdom and teaching. They think I'm just a smith.
I could tell from when we first talked to you that you're not just a smith.
I am a smith, and so that is not a lie, but yes.
You know, people look at me and my sister and just think that we're just little girls. There's a lot that they don't really know. There's a lot that we don't know, and we're finding out every day. More and more.
Good. Then you're on the right path.
Do you know anything about a copper skull?
Well, that came out of left field.
Not really.
Not really.
Do you want to add anything about that?
It's a skull and it's copper and it drips.
It's
always.
yeah, copper ichor that drips from it, and it moves like a creature that crawls on all four, but it is not natural.
As disturbing as this is, I'm sorry that I can't add anything.
It's all right. It would probably be wise.
You said
Not
copper.
Yes?
Copper is used a lot. Copper and bronze. Brass, sorry. Used a lot in the New Dawn Empire. On the continent of Agarin. Forgive me, do you know much about the New Dawn Empire?
No.
Do I know much about DM? No. No, I have no idea.
The New Dawn Empire was an alliance set between the Sprocket Citadel, which is a gnomish kingdom, and Brassfell, which is a human kingdom. Now, the thing about a lot of humans is that they will push boundaries a lot. And the thing about gnomes, especially within the Sprocket Citadel, they are master tinkerers. And so this unification in the New Dawn Empire has quickly seen new wonders that the world has never seen before created. Certainly nothing that I could make. Spearheading gnomish tinkering and human wizardry and draconic magics, and fusing the two to advance further and further. but that's the only thing that comes to mind when you mention copper in particular being made for things. I know that they have, what do they call it? Automatons made of copper.
I think the term's robot.
Is it? I apologize, robot.
Yeah, I heard it from someone else. I don't think that's what this is, though.
No, I was going to say, from what I've heard of them, it's just they're used for menial tasks, not invading visions or dreams. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Nobody said anything about a vision or a dream.
No, they didn't.
We are looking for answers, though. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe there's some thing to be found or looked at, or any information that you can find.
Well, we definitely look into it.
All right.
I want to like side eye and look at Lost. What is what is his reaction to this conversation? Because I definitely like threw it all out there to this person.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with your passive perception being ridiculous, just roll an insight check, and then Lost, if you are trying to guard a reaction, then I would say roll a deception check. If you are allowing a reaction to be seen, then don't roll, and you can potentially just describe what she sees. What did you get?
I rolled a 24.
I rolled a 10.
Oh no. All right, I will leave this to Lost as to the to what you see.
You see Lost tense up a little bit when there is an actual... when he hears these locations and copper. But that's all. The slight tensing up. But
You see the butt clench from the front.
I literally thought that. I wish I hadn't, but that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we could. I mean, I believe we're done here, and Kaya, I know you'll have to come back later.
Yes, it seems I have some work to do.
We should go and check on Adeline.
You know, that sounds like a good idea. I can check in on Roz.
Yeah.
and I can see Mordecai's progress on our story.
Correct. I'm sure he has filled a book completely with the story of Lostra.
Since I have free time too, I can pose for visuals. What greater way to improve these boring looking texts? Some visual representation. That would be fantastic. I have time.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
look like we're going anywhere soon, right?
Not today.
All right.
I didn't know you brought your kitty.
Yeah, Poppy always comes with me wherever I go.
Sometimes she stays hidden for a while, but
Yeah.
sometimes she pops out of your hood, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
She just hangs out with me.
And with that, we will do another time bounce back to the Wolf's Den.
Before we do that, we did unlock our first giveaway.
Oh, did we? I've been so ingrained in
Yeah,
what's happening.
and
Thank you, guys.
we are not that far from our next giveaway, so.
What's the next one?
Wowza.
The next giveaway is a Valorhood bundle at... I just had it up.
For all you smelly nerds.
At 35, so we're about 11 subs away.
Awesome. I will have to find out exactly what is in the bundle. But Valorhood, one of my friends from the D&D world, they make shampoos and conditioners and like beard care and skin care and body washes and all kinds of things that are all naturally scented and all sulfate and bad stuff free. And they're all based on D&D classes, the scents, so they're awesome. But yes, exclamation point giveaway in the chat, right?
Yep.
Is that what we're doing? Yep. Exclamation point giveaway in the chat to win your own plushie D20, which you'll be able to roll along with doing your exclamation point roll. And that's for everyone. It's not just subscribers. So keep that going. It will be announced at a random point.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Was there anything else before we complete our time bounce? Okay, then we skip back over to Adeline. In the Wolf's Den, you sleep for what seems like forever. Like you fall in and out of this deep slumber, where the amount of research and everything that had gone on the day before, because the day before had lasted forever, you were just completely mentally exhausted. And so even in like the waking points where you felt like you were like coming back into consciousness, like any sort of attempt to get up or do anything, and your eyelids would just fall, and then you just pass right back out again. Upon waking, you are alone in your room. Your book lays open next to the window, where you had left it, closed. But give me just for the sheer fuck of it, give me a history check, just to see whether you could actually remember.
17.
17? Okay, yeah, I will say that, yeah, you distinctly remember closing the book, but, you know, maybe you opened it in kind of a sleepy kind of daze or something like that. And you look down at the mark on your arm, and it remains, though slightly faded. What would you like to do with your morning?
Well, I think she wants to seek out Mordecai and talk to him about what she found as far as his research. I think first though, she'll kind of like looking at the mark and kind of seeing that it's fading a little bit. She'll make sure to tie her blouse very tightly around her wrist so that it doesn't accidentally come up still. And kind of trepidatiously will take the book. I think consider leaving it in her room, but decide it's probably safer with her and put it in its little satchel that she wears, and will, head out of her room in search of Mordecai. And also realize she hasn't seen anyone from her party for like 2 days now or something, and thinks like, I should probably catch up with them at some point. But
Yeah. So make your way down to the library where you expect Mordecai to be, and he is there. His clouded eyes as he has the books that you were reading out in front of him as they were not put back. Although he does have a different book open that he is holding and kind of staring off into nothing, but running his fingers across the words.
She'll make a bit of a and knock on the door to kind of announce her arrival. Good morning, Mordecai.
And he, oh yes, and this small, like thin book kind of slides out from the book that he was carrying. Like the cover, it just slides out, and he quickly and kicks it under.
Can I see what it is?
Make a perception check.
Please be smut. That's a 15.
15?
Yeah.
I mean, it has it's got like this like pinkish kind of cover to it, but that's all that you really manage to see in that brief moment that it hits the ground before he kicks it away.
All right. She'll respectfully not kind of, look at it more. Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to startle you.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just refiling some books that were caught together.
Yes, I left a bit of a mess. I'm sorry. And she'll kind of go and like wipe a little bit of drool off of one of the books that was like left open. Kind of like,
As you do, like you go to wipe it with your sleeve, it smears the ink.
Oh God! She's just...
And you look down, and it's now like ink across your sleeve as well.
She's just really trying to like be as quiet as possible, like, and try to like pretend that everything's fine because she thinks, oh well, maybe he can't see this.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh no! Well, that was bad. So that's funny. That's a 5.
He looks like slightly to the left of you and just says, what are you doing?
God, just making a mess, it seems. Sorry. Mordecai, there was actually something I wanted to talk to you about regarding something I read.
And he looks over and kind of looks straight past the book and says, oh, God, and just waves his hand over like half a centimeter above the page over where the ink was smeared, and as his hand passes over, the words return back to how they were before.
That's lovely.
I mean, I'm blind. I spill things all the time.
I guess that tracks. I don't have much of an excuse. Anyway,
Being clumsy.
that is, yeah, I suppose we can call it that. That is.
We all have our faults.
We do, yes.
Anyway, you wanted to talk to me.
Yes, Mordecai. I saw something in one of the tomes I was reading, something you'd signed off on, and I couldn't quite make sense of it, and in my research at the Institute, I have been looking a lot into extraplanar activity and saw in one of the books that you had made some notes as well about a rise and that sort of thing.
Yes. And he takes a seat at the table where the books are opened up across. I see you found my personal archive of events.
Yes, it's quite illuminating. This rise in frequency of these events. Do you know why?
Not for certain. Although usually beings that cross between the planes, which is very rare, it tends to cause these I don't know exactly, but my theory is that when you draw the two planes closer together in order to pass through, sometimes this starts to create clashes between the planes, where these holes will open up in different areas. And so for this to be accelerated, because if we look back, and he starts like flinging through pages of that same book and like pulls up and like points to it, is looking completely straight over it, but points to it and says, the last time that anything like this happens was when we had a lot of issues with Fae crossing over. We had lots of there were the records show that we had a few arch-Fae pass over from the Feywild, and they jumped back and forth, and this started creating almost like holes, just going off these records from a long time ago. But going off of these, it was allowing other things to jump through from other planes, not just the Feywild. And this is where my theory comes in. And I don't know. I'm not as worldly. I just have my books for information and what I can put two and two together. But it does seem that something like that has happened within the last 20 years.
Oh.
My theory would be that there is some being who crossed planes and maybe shouldn't have. And this has started this chain reaction of clashes where other beasts from other planes are coming through, and that is my theory for where this hag came from.
Oh?
Was
Yes.
one of these clashes with the planes, kind of, if you can imagine that they're almost like these spinning rooms, and as they get closer, sometimes the corners will catch on each other and knock against each other, and that causes this almost like a clash, like a convergence between the two, where things can slip through.
This convergence, as you call it,
I mean, I'm workshopping the title, but yes.
I like it. I quite like it. It's if you can track when these are, can you also track where?
Where becomes very difficult. These are historical records that I've managed to amass, and you can see like he's starting to kind of cool down again after explaining to you his like theory that he obviously hasn't told many people about this. Tracking where they come and go becomes more difficult than collating a pattern of happenstances and circumstances. You understand, especially for me. I obviously spend a lot of time down here and not elsewhere, but this is where I am of most use.
We've certainly been able to find quite a lot. Your theory is fascinating. As far as this pattern you've observed, you've tracked when they've happened in the past. Is there any way to tell when some future event may happen? Is there a pattern to that?
This is a good question, but what I've found is that these like convergences is we're going with that. I suppose.
like it. I like it a lot.
They seem almost chaotic in happenstance, in the way that they happen. That it just seems like things are spinning and clashing into one another, and that's what's causing these rips or these holes or something. But my theory is that there's been something or someone that has jumped at least one plane, maybe multiple.
Such a being. Would they have to possess some kind of great magic to do so? Or is it as easy as taking a step through? Right.
For the initial act, it would need some high level magic.
Fascinating.
And then for her to do it more than once, as with the Archfey, we're comparing magics with the Archfey themselves. Innately a foundation of Fey magic themselves. To compare something else to that level means that they possess quite a power.
Right. This is all very interesting. I feel you're onto quite something here with all of this. Tell me, you know that things have come from the Fey realm. Have you done much research into the astral plane?
The astral plane.
Yes.
Most of my research has been concerned with the celestial, as with the nature of the library.
Right.
Along with my records of what has happened with the Feywild. I've done some research into the astral plane, although information is somewhat scarce.
Yes.
Why do you ask?
It's mysterious, isn't it? It is hard to find information on it. And I am just, by nature, very curious.
Roll a persuasion check. You're not lying.
Technically, 26.
26. Yes, I agree. The planes are extremely a curious matter that I feel that we don't know enough about. Yes, I'm sorry that I can't help you with more to do with the astral plane.
Mordecai, you've helped me plenty. Do you mind terribly if I take some personal notes off of your observations, just to... I'd like to try to find a pattern in this myself, if possible.
No, feel free.
Thank you.
And so, do you sit there to scribe some stuff? Are you writing it in your book, or is this?
I think. Oh, what would she do? I think she has some loose leaves of parchment that she would probably write it in.
Yep.
I think she feels she's a little unsure about her own book at this moment. While she has taken notes in it before, this feels like sensitive information. She just wants to write down like dates, locations if there are any, and kind of like a short summary of like what happened to try to like math out some kind of a pattern here or map it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say for sort of the rest of the morning, you're able to make those notes, and we already established that you had parchment and things for your letters and such. So, I'll say that you're able to take your time and do that. And as we close in the library, that's where we're going to take our 10-minute break to potentially unite the party once more. Which would be great for me. So please stick around. We still have that giveaway that is live. You can enter !giveaway into the chat. And you know what? Do it now. And I'm going to call it a little bit after we come back from the break. You do have to be in the chat to win it. You do have to claim it. If you do not claim it, we will roll again for a new winner. So make sure you're here. Yes, we will be back in about 10 minutes. Stick around, guys. Swole Initiative Network with Fables of Gahlia. Yeah, I don't know where that voice came from, but anyway,
It's
before
like
the
late
break,
night radio.
I know, right? Jazz FM. Yes. So before that weird voice came in, you guys had gone to Oleg's to have a medallion fashioned from platinum, and also Adeline. We're filling in the blanks from when Adeline was away. Adeline had been researching, had found out a lot, and then gone to further that research with Mordecai, the librarian, and had discovered a theory of his with convergences of planes crashing together, causing the planes to meet, and so beasts and beings from other planes are crossing back and forth as they crash into one another, caused by someone or something traveling through planes that they shouldn't be. Now, the four of you that are together, what would you like to have been doing? And don't forget, I haven't forgotten about the giveaway. I'm gonna announce that very soon. What would you guys like to have done after going to Oleg's?
Well, I said we were gonna go check on Adeline.
That's right, you did. And so, yeah, this is actually perfect. So, you guys go all the way back to the Wolf's Den. No issue getting through the gates. You come into the main like foyer area, and head into the Great Hall. Excuse me, sorry. Head into the Great Hall just as you see Adeline closing the side door that led off into the library, the hallway that the library was down, closing the door back again very, very gently, turning around, and then seeing everyone right there.
Oh,
Good morning.
gosh. It's so good to see you. I'm really sorry for missing out on what I heard was, quite the display. Everyone's talking about it.
And I'm gonna look at Lost.
And you Lost. Give me a perception check. In fact, yeah, just Lost.
A 12.
12. Okay. You don't see it, but with the passive of the sisters see it. There's one guard off towards the back room that you haven't been through, that leans over to the guard on the other side of that door and like shoves him on the shoulders and like points over at Lost, and it's like, and you guys can read lips as well, so
We can.
yeah, and so you kind of see it as he like turns his head and points, and you can see him saying, "That's him. That's the guy," pointing towards Lost. Lost, you have no idea.
I have no idea.
You'll have to tell me all about it.
Right now, yes.
Sure,
You
yeah.
have to hear my version, the more accurate version. I was able-bodied and present the whole time. Did not go down, so I saw exactly what happened.
That's a strange thing to have to stipulate up top. But
Yes.
great.
Yes, because I don't know why, but there seems to be a prevailing sense of people not believing what I say.
Couldn't imagine why.
No. Man of my word.
Well, it's good to see you all in one piece.
Yes, are you all right?
Yes, I just I got caught up reading and just fell asleep right there in the library. I lose track of time sometimes when I'm find something particularly interesting.
I used to do the same thing when we lived in the temple, and I would spend lots of time in the cemetery. I would either walk around or sit, and then the whole day would go by, and I would not even realize it.
Why would you stay in the cemetery?
It's very peaceful.
It is very peaceful, and it was part of my job
Oh,
in the temple.
Do you think maybe we could visit there sometime? All of us?
cemetery.
No, where she's from. Where
Oh.
she and Lily are from.
Well, we have to go through the forest, which is very dangerous.
It was
Oh.
a very, very dangerous forest, the Blackwood. But I mean, I'm sure we could try sometime to visit the temple. I mean, I know I would like to see it again sometime soon.
I mean, it's nice to hear you talking about it. I was just curious to see it myself.
Oh, well, I hope that one day that we can share that with you.
That would be great.
Where is Rawls?
He got knocked out a couple of times
Oh,
in the battle, and so he's taken a couple of days to rest. He got healed, but I think his being unconscious so much, he wanted to rest his mind as well.
right. Well, that could take it out of you, I suppose. Well, I'm glad to hear everything was successful, though.
Yeah.
It was hard fought. Thank goodness for the healing of sisters and lost spectacular courage and combat acumen.
So that part was true. Interesting. So does that conclude our business here? Are we on to the next? Or have we still got more to do?
I think we're gonna hang out for at least another day, aren't we?
Well, at least until your commission from Oleg is done.
And we got to pick up our new clothes from the shop.
That's right.
From the dressmaker shop.
Oh, and my quill from
Midas.
Midas.
I
yes.
say it very quietly.
Yes. Oh, weren't we supposed to find some information for him?
Yeah. Do you remember what that was? There's been a lot that's happened.
I definitely
He wanted to
do.
know what was wrong with Magnus.
Oh, and we
Yes.
did find that out.
Good.
He was cursed. I'll say it like really quietly to her because I said it aloud before to someone who didn't know.
Right. How did you break the curse?
We shoved fur in the wounds.
With the help of Fenris and Eastus
And
But-
Lagertha.
and Lagertha.
It's quite a trio.
Absolutely.
You put fur in the...
It's a
Was that
relic.
one of your ideas, Kaya? Is that like the bread thing?
No, this was actually the high priestess and Mordecai. We were trying to figure out something.
Oh, right. I did witness that part. I definitely saw that happen.
Yeah.
It worked.
It's been such a long 2 days? One day? Gosh, doesn't it feel like it's been weeks? Crazy.
Well, are you rested now?
Quite, yes. I've gotten quite a lot of sleep.
Did you learn what you were looking to learn?
Yes. You know, just general research, curious mind, and the like.
Roll a deception check.
Okay.
Insight.
Yeah, serious insight.
There you go.
Dirty 20.
Ha! I rolled a nat
Natural
20.
Natural 20.
You rolled a
Both
nat
of
20
them.
too?
I'm gonna take a picture.
No,
Shut up.
you both get
Oh my
Taking a
god.
picture. Sorry.
Wild.
I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it in
in the dice vault.
dice vault. So you
There
can
you go.
see.
If you're in our Discord right
It's
now,
so
you'll be
blurry.
able to
I'm
see
sorry.
both of the spooky sisters rolling twinned natural 20s for their insight checks.
My gorgeous new golden rose from Norse Foundry.
That glow in the dark.
They do glow in the dark.
That's so cool.
This is so cool. Thanks.
Well, I was lying.
Well,
Yeah, I was
wait, I
freaking
want
out.
to tell you what my total
Give
is.
me the totals. Give me them totals.
27.
And
28.
20. Hey.
Yeah,
All right.
I was reading about wolves, you know? So many books about wolves. Did you know that they hunt in packs? Mhm.
You know, your voice gets weird when you lie.
Why would you tell us a lie?
There are lots of books on wolves. That is.
You didn't read them.
But those aren't the ones you read, are they?
No, I don't know if we can talk about this here.
Well, there's a lovely garden we could go sit in,
Private.
as far as I know.
I know Lost and I need to talk to Mordecai.
Oh, yes. He's a bit excitable at the moment. He has a lot of information to give. That's for sure. Right. Did you want to do that now?
Yes.
Right.
Lost?
Yes. I'd like to see his progress on the story.
Story.
He's chronicling our deeds. The deeds of the curse-breaking army of fate.
Is that
Is
what we're
that-
called now?
Oh, is that official?
No, I'm just saying that's a descriptor of who we are, not a title.
Surely there's like a succinct, like a nice little like something that you could just like put on like a mug or something that just like looks really cool.
We're still workshopping the name.
Great.
I vote for Deep Fate.
Okay.
Deep fate.
Deep Fate.
I don't vote for that if we're casting on ballots now.
Well, you guys enjoy your time with Mordecai. Are we all going?
I mean, we're right. He's literally right behind
Oh,
the
I mean,
door.
I'm sure.
We're
Let's
right
go. I like Mordecai. That's fine.
Well,
But Adeline, you and I have some things to speak about.
you're not gonna forget about it, are you?
Do I look like someone who's gonna forget?
No, you
Okay.
don't. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been hoping they forgot about my debt for
Nope.
a while.
No, it's right here, and I hold up my little book.
The ledger.
3 favors you owe us.
3 favors.
And I'm
What
happy
was
to
it,
keep
like a
this open.
genie? Okay. Very well. I will slip into Mordecai's the library. Yes.
I'm gonna go right behind him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adeline will just like reopen the door she just shut. Like, there again.
I
Okay,
guess I'm
so
gonna,
it is down a hallway.
Oh, just kidding.
Some way. from the great hall, there's a
I
side
see.
door that leads to a hallway, which you can trace back to the library and Mordecai. Who's first in through the door to the library?
Lost.
Probably me. Yes.
Us?
I'm right
Okay.
behind him.
Lost, as you walk in, you see Mordecai sort of bent over, and it looks like he's been reaching for something underneath a bookshelf, and he slides it out from underneath him and stands up and senses you and just tosses the book straight over his shoulder, and it clatters against several other books, which like books falling off the shelves and things, and he says, "Oh, clumsy me, sorry."
And I look over. I go, "Is that the manuscript for our story?" And I start walking that way.
No, it's something completely different. And you see him sort of wave in the air, and an ethereal hand appears and picks up a pink covered book between its finger and thumb, and just starts floating away behind another shelf as he's like pushing it away. So what can I do for all of you, almost?
I heard from very reliable source that you are putting to paper the story of our most recent heroic events, heroic deeds. That's true.
Yes, I am a chronicler, and so I will be chronicling the chronicles.
Right. Might we take a look at this?
I mean, you do realize it just happened.
Yes.
I haven't started writing it yet.
Really? What could be more important than our deeds saving the city? That pink book over there that's floating away?
That it's not there at all.
But that's more important.
Filing the books is a very important job for me in the library, so that the proper books can be found in times of need. Yes. And you can see he's starting to like flush red on his cheeks. I mean, Adeline made quite a bit of a mess over here with books and smearing spittle across my pages and researching planes and things.
Yes.
When he says that, I want to like look at the books, see if I can like divulge any information just from that.
From a glance?
No, I'm looking.
Oh, like investigating looking. You grab a book and start to read it.
No, I am like looking at titles, and are there like not written on the outside of the books?
The books are open on the desk, so you wouldn't be able to like read the covers or anything like that. But what you do know from the from most of the books that you've already seen in this library is most of them don't have like titles to them. They're sort of just volumes. And what you I suppose Adeline would have probably known this more from spending so much time, but they tend to be color-coded covers, and then it's just volumes in that color, depending on what they're concerning.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna try and look and see if I could divulge the source or like what it was about. Like the book on top.
Okay, so like the big like main tome that's in front of the seat. Go ahead and make a perception check. Now, a perception check won't give you like a full detailed description of what's on the page, but it might be like you might pick up certain words from kind of glancing across.
19.
18?
19.
19. Okay, so with a 19, as you kind of like do the "oh really" and glance across the open tome, you pick up on dates listed of I would say you wouldn't get the details exactly, but you would get dates and like lists of different planes next to the dates. Like you catch like the Feywild for one. You catch a like a celestial terminology in another, and then you would get like an infernal on another, and that's kind of what you scan across and pick up.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, DM.
Yes.
So I can't remember if I asked Mordecai already about the Copper Skull,
I believe you did.
but I know that the priestess, what's her name?
Freya.
Freya. Told me to talk to him, but I've already talked to him about it. So I've answered my question, so that's it. Good talk.
You're welcome.
What sort of planes?
Oh, we were talking about
Well, I have this theory, and you can see him getting like hyped up again, where certain beings are able to travel from one plane to another, and when it's done improperly or in a forced manner, too often it tends to spit, and like goes into his theory of like these clashing convergences of the planes, and he talks about like the room theory that he has, and then ends with, and so what I surmise has happened is that someone or something has traveled at least from one plane to another by force, and it has caused these convergences, which he like points at Adeline.
It's a good one.
It's like slightly to the left and above you.
Yeah. She like moves over to be in the way. That's good.
convergences. Over the past 20 years, I believe these convergences have been caused by at least one being, possibly multiple that have been taken themselves or been brought through interplanar travel.
do you have, and I'm gonna like point to the book, so from like the Feywild as well as, and then I'll just point out the other planes that I could see on the book, but now actually looking into the book and pointing at them.
Mhm.
Okay. Now that I'm actually looking at it, do I see anything else of interest?
Give me a religion check.
18.
18. So
can I shoot? I've got to start guiding myself on these silly things. Sorry.
18. 18. As you're sort of pointing and being like, oh, you know, the Feywild, or Mount Celestios, and you know, the 9 hells, and then you point to one, and then you're about to say it out loud, and you stop as you look down and you see the words, the Shadowfell. Now, with an 18 religion check, not only does that ping you for Lost's stories of where he came from and his tales, but with an 18 religion check, having a tie to the Shadowfell through Lost, you remember who has domain over the Shadowfell. The Raven Queen. And what stops you is you know that Lost crossed over at some point within the past 20 years. But you also know someone else who was ripped away before they reached it.
I think you've done a lot of work here. A lot of really good work. And I think that your theories are very accurate.
Oh, thank you. Don't. You don't need to concern the High Priestess with this stuff. This is more my
curricular activity.
Yes. Extracurricular activities. This is my private time, theories and things, and
Sounds
as
great.
opposed to chronicling important events.
yes, that would be curricular.
Could you tell me where a specific one of these could be?
Where one of the convergences?
Yes.
It gets complicated.
Well, the thing about convergences, and he goes into his like chaos theory, where the planes kind of bounce off of one another, and that kind of chain reaction effect is caused by that the chaos of like constantly being pulled from one plane to another.
So, just because there was a convergence, between the Fey realm and this realm at one point in time in a specific place, that doesn't mean that that same place would be a portal or a door now?
Oh, no, it's more of like a fraction, or a fracture, or a fraction of a fracture. Where the two collide is where the break occurs, and then with my room theory, it's where they hit together and then they spin off of one another, and then that causes more convergences on other planes.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm getting quite excited. I'll just have a sit down.
Exciting theory.
Well,
It's a lot to take in.
it is.
And I've made some notes according to your research so that perhaps we can draw some more conclusions off of this information.
Yes, in your travels.
Yes.
If you were able to bring back more information, I would very much like to read it.
Absolutely, Mordecai. You've helped us along so much in sharing this. I fear it will prove terribly relevant.
Sure.
Yes, for our curiosity, because that's what we just love. We love research, don't we? Yes. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's an odd reaction, but yes, Rose.
I do believe that fate has brought us here for many reasons. And your information is absolutely one of them. Any further information that you could share as you learn it, we would be grateful to have.
I can offer some help, but unfortunately, I exist mainly within the library walls, so new information is hard to come by, but what I tend to be good at is noticing patterns from history.
Yes. Do you have another time when this has happened?
Other than that first time that I told you about earlier in the montage.
Right.
No.
Okay. All right.
But the effects were almost identical.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Was there anything else I could help you with?
No, I think that's all that I can see today.
All right.
Very well, Mordecai. I am looking forward to reading the Chronicles soon.
Yes. Take care, Losteroth. As he's pointing like 45 degrees off from you. But you still know that he knows exactly what's going on.
So while they all went back into the library, Kaya didn't go back in. So I was thinking back to the conversation with Oleg, and when he brought up the New Dawn Empire, and it seemed like that might have triggered a memory that he might have, heard mention of that with Fizzlewick.
Mhm.
When we were traveling with Fizzlewick, and I want to see if that's something he might have brought up.
Yes. He would have told you that he's from Agarin. Roll a straight D20 for me.
Natural one. Natural one.
I mean, they mentioned that it was a gnomish kingdom. He was a gnome. He mentioned coming from Agarin as a continent. Maybe there's something there, but nothing really sticks out.
Okay. All right.
Exclamation point giveaway in the chat right now. We will take a brief pause because this is the last chance that you're going to get before we're going to call a winner. If anyone wants to do it in the next couple of seconds, this is to win a plushie D20 from Norse Foundry, and they're
Plushie.
awesome. And they do have the runic numbers on them as well that Norse Foundry does. Nope. If no one else is gonna jump in, I guess we will draw it.
All right. Gonna roll in 3, 2, 1.
Voodoo Willie.
Voodoo Willie,
Ooh.
are you there? You have to be in it to win it. You gotta respond.
There may be a delay. There he is.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Awesome. All right, you need to jump into our Discord link and find me, so at Swole Initiative, in there, and send me a DM with your name and mailing address and things, and I will get Norse Foundry to send you your plushie. Thanks so much. Awesome.
Yay.
And then I got wind of the next giveaway at how many subs? I can't read it.
I think we're still at 10 subs away.
The 10 more.
my
Whoa!
God. What? Oh.
Friend Llama!
Oh,
Hey!
friend Mama.
My friends! Thank you so much, man. So we are 5 away now, I guess.
We are. Wait, we are. 6.
6 away. 6 away. 6 subs from our Valorhood giveaway from my friends, from our friends at Valorhood. They are going to give away a t-shirt, a beard oil sample kit, which has all of their scents in it, but it's not just for beards, as Betty actually uses it as hair oil as well. So it's really good that way. And you also get a $30 gift card to purchase what you want as well. So,
I was gonna use it tonight, but I'm just drinking coffee. I have their glasses that you can get.
yes.
They're
The etched
super
glasses.
cool.
Holy
Guys, I think it
shit.
happened.
Whoa, dude, that's awesome.
Yo.
Did we just do it?
I think we're 1 away.
No, he
That
just
was
he
10
just gave
more.
10 more.
Just did 10 more.
1 second.
It's gonna catch up. It's gonna catch up. Holy shit. Thank you so
That's
much,
so
man.
exciting.
You're the bomb.
He
You should
just
check out.
donated
No,
15.
go to Instagram. Check out Threat Llama. They have like amazing memes for one, but
Yes.
they do amazing merchandise. It's like there's like veteran stuff, there's Viking stuff, there's gamer stuff. There's all like I have a t-shirt from them that is a Gandalf, but he's a skeleton. He's smoking a pipe with. He's got a flamethrower. It's fucking amazing. So yeah, definitely go and support Threat Llama for supporting us in such a huge way. Thank you so much, man.
That was awesome. I also use the oils as just to smell good. So you put it on your essential oils. That was awesome.
Did
Valorhood.
the subs catch up?
I'm trying to look.
It shows on the stream that we have 40.
I have to look on our side.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think we hit the Valorhood. Yes.
There
Whoa.
we go. Holy shit.
Amazing.
All right. Exclamation point giveaway in the chat to enter in for the Valorhood huge bundle giveaway. We will announce it before the end of the show. Every time we
US.
act.
US
What?
only.
Oh, US only. US only. Every time you activate a giveaway, we draw it within the same show at a random point. So make sure you are in it to win it. You have to be in the chat to claim it. So, thank you so much, man. That's amazing. Anyway, getting back to the story, as we pull away from Kaya kind of trying to rack his brain and coming up short with links to the Sprocket Citadel with his friend Fizzlewick. The rest of you leave the library and meet back up with Kaya in the Great Hall.
You guys find what you were looking for in the library with Mordecai?
It was very informative. Yes.
I would pull Lily to the side, just kind of speak just for us to hear. Lily, I think this is some of the answers we're looking for.
We need to talk to Lost.
Yeah.
But what answers? What did you see?
There was the Shadowfell was one of the planes listed.
Jay, I know obviously that Lost is from the Shadowfell, but do I
do.
know about the Raven Queen and all of that stuff?
Give me a religion check. Are you asking in terms to yourself or just lore in general?
I think not necessarily, well, maybe to myself, but from what I would have gathered from my aunts and the time at the temple, and so I guess pertaining to myself, but I don't know if I wouldn't, I don't know what I know.
Okay.
But
you do still have your other ability as well,
oh,
just in case this doesn't get you as high as you want.
you know what? I'm gonna go for it because I really want to know some things.
Okay.
So that's that. Let me get my D6.
In the meantime, Lost is going to head to the Great Hall. All of this bookish nerdiness has gotten me a little thirsty.
Isn't that where we all are?
So,
Yes, you're all in the Great Hall.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So you want to head over to the old table?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. And there are large sort of decanters with
myself.
with Ulfgatian mead.
This place is starting to grow on me. You can just serve yourself. I'm going to serve myself a large carafe for that.
All right. And as you do that, what was your religion check?
24 total with
your
knowledge
D6.
from a past life.
Okay. So your general knowledge of the Shadowfell and the Raven Queen in particular. With a 24, you said? 24. That'll get you... You know that she has dominion over the Shadowfell. And you know that she is the ascended goddess of death and, in turn, the dead. I would say with the 24, like in particular on the Shadowfell and her, you would know that she can be very possessive. That's the word. Possessive over what she deems as hers. And you do know as well that she did have a moment where she was on a quest of her own to expand her dominion into the undead as well, which caused a lot of infighting amongst the gods, which eventually she did not obtain the dominion of the undead, and so was kept in the Shadowfell to be over death itself. But you know that she constantly has this possessive feeling as to what should be hers. As you start thinking about all this and the teachings that you had from the temple, there's a moment where your eyes glaze over. And your mind slips back to a memory like it has done before. And you look around, opening your eyes. Everything is bleary. And as you start opening them and looking around, you see to the left and right of you complete desolation, like a wasteland. Dark, cracked ground. But you are moving. You're not walking, you're still sitting. And as you look around further and take in everything around you, you are on a boat. A long boat. And as you turn your head to the back of the boat, you see this large being, very lithe in appearance. And as your eyes focus in, you see a half-rotted being. You see it's humanoid, but almost indistinguishable about what race it is, just for the sheer state that you find it in. You can see through one side of its jaw and see that its teeth, what aren't already rotted out of the gums that they have. There are pieces of its scalp that are peeled away, and just these kind of short, wily hairs, a couple of them longer, that kind of straggle down its face and are stuck to it in some kind of moisture across its face. But as you look at it, it is
pushing the boat like a gondola. And as you look over the edge of the boat, the water isn't water. And that's when you start to hear it. The muffled sound starts to become clear, and it is screaming. As you look in and you see these tortured souls being pulled around and dragged back in. There are hands reaching up and clasping at the side of the boat as you are being pushed along by this one being. And you look dead ahead, past the front of the boat. And in front of you is a black portal that is pulsing from the center, almost like ripples, like someone's dropping a pebble into a puddle and it's just rippling outwards. And you see on the outside of this portal is a black, silvery fire. And either side of this fire are two ethereal raven black wings. As the being pushes the gondola further and further, you start to panic. You don't know where you are. You don't know what is happening around you. I need you to make a perception check as you're starting to panic and look around.
Oh my god. Natural 20, and I'm not joking. So that is a
Damn.
30.
Damn.
I perceive everything, and it's more terrifying than if I hadn't.
With a natural 20, and not even that, but a total of 30, you see two things. One, above you, in the peripheral of your vision, there is a golden crack, almost like a lightning bolt, but it's not coming straight down. It's almost like it's behind clouds. You know, when you see lightning that's behind clouds and it kind of disperses out the light, you see that out of the corner of your eye, and then you feel the pain in your stomach, and you look down and you see a large gaping wound. And you see beyond the muscle, you see your insides just being held there, moving and shifting, with blood pouring out. And then you look back at the golden light, and there is the vision of a beautiful woman glowing in gold, her hands stretched open towards yours, and in her left hand she carries a golden spindle. She clasps your hand, pulls you, and that's where you come back in.
I think for a moment I just stand there and I just grab a hold of my sister's arms, probably too tight because I'm not realizing, and I just stand there staring at her for a moment.
Lily, what's wrong?
I was back in the boat on the river from before. The last thing I remember.
Okay.
But I saw more things. there was a portal. Silver, like black, silvery flames and wings around it. Not like actual wings, but you know, they were ghostly type wings. And then I I saw my insides, and they were there gaping with my wound. And then I saw Eastus, and she pulled me. I actually saw her.
You saw her?
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but that's what I saw.
You saw her?
It's very beautiful.
That's the moment. That was your moment.
Yeah, but I never saw the portal before. I remembered briefly being on the river, but and that creature that was pushing it and the screams. I don't remember any of that, but there was a portal.
All right.
I don't think the Raven Queen is happy I was taken.
It wasn't your fate.
I don't think she cares one bit about fate.
Well, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what this copper skull wants. I don't know a lot of things anymore. I didn't know a lot of things before, but I think I know less now.
Well, we're still looking for answers, and we've gotten more answers, and you're remembering things that are impossible to remember. I don't even know how.
I don't know either. I don't know why I'm in this situation.
Well, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't your fate.
We need to talk to Lost.
I think we need to be careful with anyone associated with the Raven Queen, if that's what you fear.
I don't fear the Raven Queen. I just think that she wants what she thinks is hers. And Lost knows more about that, and he knows about the Copper Skull.
And he also doesn't want to talk about it. Unless maybe he's drunk 3 or 4 of those mead canisters. Maybe he'll talk about it then.
He does owe us 3 favors.
He does. So maybe this will be number 1. And you do know things. You know that I'm your sister.
Yeah.
And you know that I'll do whatever I can to help you. And I've done whatever I could to keep you here. And will continue to do that.
I know.
And I'll just kind of do like the ruffle the top of your head.
Does like a clump of my hair fall out?
No.
No, you are good. You hold it together. The rest of you, what you see is like a small chat that happens between Rose and Lily, and then it's almost like her eyes glaze over and she's not looking at anything with her eyes wide open. But it only lasts a mere couple of seconds before she shakes her head and comes back before she took Rose aside. Also, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. I'm watching them go off. I just didn't want to break immersion then. It was a really nice moment.
What?
Thank you. Yeah. Holy shit, have we hit the next one?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What was that?
That was the poison dagger boulder.
I didn't even announce what that was, guys.
Oh.
You guys have won things you didn't even know you could win.
All right,
It was
exclamation
fake.
point giveaway in the chat right now, and then we'll draw the Valorhood one, and then we got and then I gotta draw another one before
We'll
the
draw,
end of the show.
double draw.
Oh my god.
Holy,
Oh my
holy-
gosh.
You guys are amazing.
Where's the hype train?
I'm like trying not to cry because I can't cry. And here you guys are.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'll give a couple of seconds. We can role play a little bit more, and then I'll draw it. The next giveaway, guys, is for a boulder from Norse Foundry, a giant ass D20. It is the
Whoa.
poison dagger, which I believe is purple, correct?
The
But it's
green
just-
lettering.
Yeah, if
Number.
you follow me on Instagram, I used this one in the Thor reel that I did the other day. So yeah,
Funny.
it's pretty fucking big. Okay.
Right.
Yes, so that's what you guys see from Lily, is even though as players meta, you know that vision was quite lengthy. You only see her phase out for a couple of seconds. I would say Lost and Kaya, you've seen this before. Both of you give me insight checks, actually, to see. Excuse me. I'm so excited, guys. Just
Say fish.
You're giving me gas. Just to see if you can tie it to something.
I got a 19.
19 and
A 2.
2.
Yes. Lost Roth is just in the drink right now.
Lost. The girls are kind of creepy. They do weird things every now and then. It is what it is.
I mean, I've seen that happen. The last time that happened, she was looking into my eyes. You know, maybe she was looking.
Kaya, you sense there's something there. You don't know what, but there's something there from this time and the time that you've seen it before, and then the small chats that follow.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. You know, just sister stuff.
Adeline's too busy laying down all of her notes and starting like long form equations to figure out like correlations to even notice any of this is happening.
Rose
I
will
just
kind
image
of like
you on the floor, just with papers out all around you.
Just like ink stained fingers, just kind of like, how does it work?
Rose will kind of just like brush away like a little tear that was on her face and just act like everything's fine.
I had a sister too. And I lost her when I was young, when I was much younger. And I didn't get a chance to know her as well. As you know, she was quite a bit older than I was. But I think that from what I remember and what I know about who she was, I believe is I think she would have been a lot like you, Rose.
Like me?
She was so caring and playful, but she cared for others, and it was like she always took care of others. And I think that you're so much alike in that way. And in the way I've gotten to know you and Lily, I feel like I look to y'all as like sisters in a way. And I just want you to know that if you want a brother to talk to, I'm here.
That's really, really sweet. And I may take you up on that.
Just anytime you guys need anything, I'm here. And I don't know what you're going through, but we're all in this together.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. And I would protect every single one of you.
I know you would. Guys, you are my family.
Yeah, it kind of starting to feel that way. Well, enough of all this heavy stuff. Maybe there's some mead for everyone? I don't know. I'll drink some water, thanks. And I'll kind of like walk, like lead Lily up, because I would have definitely pulled away from everyone, like to talk about this. So like maybe we hold hands and walk back up to everyone or wherever Lost is, if that's okay.
Lily, do you allow yourself to be led?
Yeah. I see my sister crying and not being able to outwardly show emotion. I feel like really crappy that she's crying because of like what I'm experiencing, or because of what I'm experiencing, she's having these emotional things that I can't outwardly show. So yeah, I go with her.
Okay. As you approach the table where Lost is heartily going after the mead, let's call the next giveaway winner, and then we're gonna do like an extra like 10 or 15 minutes to squeeze in this other giveaway that you guys unlocked. Holy shit. You're gonna have me scrambling for more giveaways again.
I know, I'm like, I don't know.
Hey guys, you wanna give me something?
All right, calling this giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No
my
way!
God.
No
Oh my
way! Holy
I
moly.
hit roll. I hit roll.
I mean,
Wow.
the gods have spoken. Wow.
Great.
It is
Wow.
Excited.
Voodoo
Wow.
Willie's night.
That's only because Bearded Breed isn't here to win everything.
I know, right? Or Frisky.
Right.
Holy crap! Are you here?
Are
Are
they
you still here? Voodoo.
Voodoo. Are you here?
Oh,
You gotta claim it.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He must be on a super slow delay.
Holy shit!
Damn, dude.
There you go.
crazy.
All right.
Lucky.
So I've seen that you've messaged me. Obviously, I haven't looked at it yet, but you get 2 giveaways. Holy shit! It's your night, man.
Yeah. Go play D&D and roll all the natural 20s with your Norse Foundry dice. That kind of luck. Wow.
Yeah. Holy shit. Go and, like, rub your hands on some dice and then send them to me or something. I don't know.
Share the luck.
Yes, exclamation point giveaway in the chat again to win a Poison Dagger Boulder giant ass Norse Foundry D20. And then we'll call that right at the end of the stream, guys, because you just what the fuck. Thank you. And if you're here and you're enjoying it, just hit the follow button. That goes a hell of a long way with us, and it'll roll you a character. Coming back to the story, you guys walk towards the table and kind of have to like step over the several pieces of strewn out paper across the floor as you can see Adeline frantically trying to, in her mind, kind of draw red yarn from place to place. Like sliding her glasses back up her face as she's looking directly down across the floor, and then you see Lost kind of with one of the horn tankards, kind of pouring more mead into one of those and chugging at it.
I'm imagining Lost has been actually regaling Adeline with the tale from across the room, and just not even registering that she's engrossed in her stuff, and he's just, yeah.
She only clues in when he says something absolutely ridiculous, and it kind of like, wait, what? Oh, fuck, I lost my place, and has to like.
Excellent. Yeah,
Lost.
so you catch up.
Lost.
Yes, I'm like right in the middle of
Yep, don't care.
Yes. Do you need me to repeat the last part?
No, I want you to tell me about your dream.
My dream is a much less interesting story than the one I'm sharing right now.
No.
It's
We've heard this
somewhat of-
story. We lived this story.
it's somewhat of a downer to retell that kind of a story while we're drinking. When you drink, you want to hear uplifting stories.
I
Glory.
like sad stories.
What dream is this?
Yes, do tell.
Guys, you're a sad bunch. I had a. This is following our great victory, with breaking the curse. I spent a night with Gerard and Victor and several of the guards, and we had a fabulous night of drinking. Drank the Wolf's Den dry, and they brought me up to my room. I fell asleep, and it must have been the drink, but I had a strange, wild dream. So, to make a long story short, I dreamt of our friend, the copper hooded man, and I dreamt that he made a hole in space and stepped through it, and I you know how when you have dreams, you see things and you want to control it, and in my dream I controlled myself and I rushed towards the hole.
Was it the guy we fought, or was it something else?
It's similar. He had a copper skull, but more.
Give me a history check.
14.
So, as you're being asked these questions and you start sort of replaying it in your head, an extra detail comes to mind. As you're thinking more about the copper skull, as you're being asked directly about that copper skulled being, and seeing the claw raise up and tear a hole in the fabric between time and space itself, you start to see cogs and joints along its finger, how it articulates. And then as the face turns, replaying that almost in slow motion in your head, you see behind its dull, lifeless eyes, twisting cogs and whirring clockwork mechanics, sprockets turning and twisting and clicking into place. It seems mechanical.
The creature that we killed before was mechanical as well, right?
Partially.
It was a mix, a bastardization of Shadar Kai and technology that looks very similar.
And would I even know what that is? What mechanics are, automata? I wouldn't.
You would relay it back to what you saw in the Shadar Kai that you fought, but that's it.
Yeah. So, so as I'm describing the creature, you know, he was very similar to the creature that we destroyed. The only difference is the strange metal composition that he had, that the creature that we killed had. This creature in my dream was fully metal. Fully metal.
You fought a copper creature who ripped through space and time.
I did not fight the creature.
Followed.
Because if I fought the creature, I would have destroyed it before it went through the portal. No, I just willed myself in my dream to dive into this ripping sky.
But in reality, you've met something like this.
We all
Why
did.
do you think that this dream is a memory? Is that how you got here?
Did I hear all that discussion previously between Rose and Mordecai?
I mean, we were all in the library.
Yeah, you were all together. It wasn't like a private discussion.
Okay.
I never said out loud anything about
She
the shadow.
she did not mention the word Shadowfell. She stopped when
Yeah,
she saw
yeah,
it.
I know. That's why I was like, I didn't hear that. I just heard all this talk about creatures traveling between and causing. So I am not sure. I don't think it's a memory. I think it's just a lot of drink. I do have to say though, I do not recall much about how I ended up here, where I was when I first.
But it was mechanical. It wasn't like dripping.
The creature in my dream was mechanical, if that's the word. Metal. It was a metal creature, metal being. It was a metal being. All whirring, buzzing, moving parts.
So
Do you know when this was? And Adeline's going through her notes, trying to find like a time and a place that would match up with.
In my dream.
Right, but you're saying it was potentially a memory? You've met something like this in reality?
Oh no! We killed a creature like this back in the Shade Run.
We did.
It was before we met you, but I was asking if that's he followed this being he dreamed about through some portal in his dream, and I was asking if maybe that's how he got here from wherever he came from.
Where did you come from?
With the Blackwood.
No, that's where
I'm-
we.
I'm-
Insight check!
Yep, against the deception.
Damn it, I rolled so bad.
23.
Oh ho ho, I got a 9.
But
But I will say that I respond and say, no, that's where we came from. The Blackwood.
I'll tell you this. In my line of business, with the people that I work for, I don't divulge of my past too often.
What about to the people you work with?
You folk.
or your friends.
My debtors. But yes. Yeah, I don't. All these talks of different planes, and it's beyond me. Beyond me. I know that.
Beyond all of us.
Yeah, yes, planes and jump. Yes.
But we know that he's from the Shadowfell. Like the sisters know, because I think we've talked about it when we
Yes.
first met.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's mentioned it a couple of times.
Lacerat is just kind of squirming right now. He's drinking, and this talk is not his normal. It's not my normal normal thing I like to do while I'm drinking.
Yeah, I would say that the sisters probably see this. What are you guys' passive insight?
My passive insight 17.
Yeah, and then
18.
yours 18. Yeah, you would. I think you would be able to determine that when he's not talking about like bravado, and he's talking about possibly things that make him feel unsettled, he is not comfortable in this space.
I'll just kind of.
I will tell you this. My origins, my homeland is the Shadowfell. And I awoke one day to find myself in this glorious place. with all the
When?
smells and the wonders and the tastes and the feels and the colors and I vowed that I would never go back.
When was this?
I don't really keep track of.
The date lost. How long have you been here?
I've been here for quite a while. But
How
in
long?
elf years, it's who knows? I actually probably don't even know exactly what. I don't keep track of time. We live so long. We live so long, and in this world.
Adeline's going through and starring anything that says Shadowfell.
You would know that it's been like without keeping like direct track of time, it would be somewhere between 10 and 15 years.
Okay. I'm right.
Whether you divulge that is up to you.
Yeah. I had a bald head back then. That's all I can say.
Like a baby.
Yes. It was all the rage back then. So I've been here about this long.
If all of these planes are converging, all of
You don't want any part of the Shadowfell. It's a dreadful place. It's a place of sadness. It's colorless. There is no joy. You're much better here.
but lost. If the planes are truly running into each other, crossing over, we may not have a choice if things are starting to bleed over into one another. I think there's truth to Mordecai's theory.
I do too.
What do you know? If we're all going to work together, if we're all going to be friends and family, as Kaya says it, we've got to start putting our cards on the table. We're all harboring quite a lot of secrets, it seems. Myself included. But if all these points are converging, if our fates have converged in the way that they have, I don't think that's by mere accident.
It's definitely not an accident. There are things that...
I've enjoyed my time here. And I'd rather stay as far away from anything that smells of the Shadowfell as possible.
When we came through the gate to get into the the first inner circle, you mentioned, I heard you saying to the guards about your service to the Raven Queen.
Oh, that was pretty good, huh? That was pretty good, and it did not get me in. Can you believe that?
I think it did.
Cooked that up all on the spot, and it did not get in.
I think it did get you in.
If
Bye, Harry.
what had happened was he had tried that and it didn't work,
Oh, okay.
and then there was the visage that came out of the fake medallion, but you didn't see that.
No, I was on the other side, but I was just on the other side.
Yep.
'Cause he came right after me.
I was the last one. So me and Roz were. We would.
Roz, I think.
I think
Yep.
he went very last, yeah. You know, I heard something at the gate, too. And Adeline gives a very pointed look at Lily and Rose.
It's
Yeah.
less what you would have heard and more what you would have seen.
On Lost's behalf?
Roll me a perception check for back then. Just to see whether you would have seen it.
No.
15.
That's a 3 face.
Oh, good.
Oh.
A 15. I would say you wouldn't see everything, but you do recall the wings sprouting from the sides of the fake medallion.
Would I know the Shadowfell is like the Raven Queen's dominion? And I mean, like, if I study religion, that's like.
That is your mother's
Yeah.
side of things. So I would say you at least know that the Shadowfell and the Raven Queen are one and the same.
I'm starting to understand you better, Lost.
And as these secrets start to spill out, and you guys start to realize that all is not what it seems, and yet maybe you were drawn to one another for reasons other than just chance. That's where we're gonna end tonight's game, because this could go on for forever, you guys.
It's getting juicy.
Yes, let's draw the last giveaway winner.
If Voodoo Willie wins again,
It's
they
rigged.
They need to go out and get a lotto ticket.
I know, right?
All right, gonna roll it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Adeline.
Hey!
Uh,
You know what? They deserve that, because as
Yeah.
long as they're still here to claim it, because they gifted a ton of subs earlier, and I saw it, and it was during
Yay!
as well. There you go. I don't like to assume. So yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your support as well, man. It blows me away every time. Like I don't get used to it at all. So thank you so much. Jump into the Discord and message me, Swole Initiative, and we'll get you stuff together as well. Holy shit! Thank you so much, guys. If you liked what you saw tonight, which is I've been waiting for this for so long, please consider just following us. And then stopping back in when we pick up the story again next Friday. Although this Monday we'll be back in Chagall for Legends of Chagall, DM'd by our one and only Diane DiCarlo, the pretty DM, which is another like off the chain campaign that we're running. Thank you so much, everyone. Jump into our Discord. You can get reminders for the events, and we try and post them as early as possible so you guys can get reminders and things. Follow us on Instagram, Swole Initiative Network. I've been trying to post clips and things from the streams, but life has been insane lately. I think we're gonna raid someone.
Oh, I should look at that.
Yeah, let's do it. Although we've gone on later than we usually do, so I don't know who is.
Let's do Long Lost Lore.
Hey, there you go.
Long
Great
lost.
minds. Yeah, so we're gonna go and raid Long Lost Lore. Please do stick around for the raid, because you do get a bunch of extra channel points, which then you can come back and use for people's flex points, which, you know, with all of these secrets being revealed, maybe they need to be able to flex their abilities to see what else they can find out. Yeah, so drop into there, throw up some Swole Initiative emotes for the raid. And
Come hang out in the Discord. The Discord is happening.
Yeah,
Discord is happening.
Fun place.
it's
It
an
is.
awesome community of people
It is.
over there. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for starting your weekend off the right way with Fables of Gahlia. Tune in on Monday for Legends of Chagall. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. We will see you next time.